Well, unfortunately, folks, it's just me for today. But that's all right there. Uh, how you doing, folks? Tom Horton here, and this is the sixth "How the Heck Are You" podcast. And yes, unfortunately, I am on my own for today because Chad is feeling under the weather right now, and Nino has some work-related injuries he's working through. So both of them had to cancel, but I decided to keep the show going today because I wanted to keep the schedule going and not have people like wondering where the hell we're at because we have no way to talk to you guys outside of the stream here. But yeah, it's gonna be a bit difficult to this one. How you doing, Case? Welcome to the stream here. It be like that sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta handle shit on your own here, and Chad has been wanting to take the reins on the channel more often, so that's kind of what I'm here to do. So, and thankfully, there's no skip frames this time while I'm streaming, because the last few times I tried to take over, there have been like skip frames, and it's like a whole fucking slideshow going on. But yeah, I kind of took the window catcher off, and it's just my camera I'm doing right now. But there are some topics that I wanted to discuss for today. Unfortunately, not with Nino or Chad, but it's something that I feel is important. For example, the recent Corey Kenshin situation that I'm sure plenty of you have heard about how he called out YouTube for certain allegations that they're playing favorites, but I don't really find that to be an allegation. I find that to be a bit of a fact at this point because he goes over certain receipts that his video for the mortuary assistant that included some kind of self-harm thing, I think you mentioned. Um, his got age restricted, and he tried to look around for other YouTubers to see if theirs were age restricted. Theirs weren't, and he went to Markiplier's, and I just find it funny that this is now the third incident that I've heard of that involved uh, a strike on someone's channel, or age restriction, rather, but an incident with someone's channel, and it involves Markiplier. Just out of nowhere, because there was the incident with Charlie, Moist Critical, for those of you who don't know. There was the incident with Moist Critical where he reacted to a clip that was in one of Markiplier's Try Not to Laughs, and he got a community guidelines strike on that. And they basically both just came at YouTube at there. And then, as I'm sure some of you follow with They Call Me Hat Guy, they got multiple community guidelines strikes on Markiplier Try Not to Laughs. And now we have Corey Kenshin taking fucking Markiplier's video in here. I just find it funny that that's 3 times in a row now that Markiplier has been involved in these incidents because, understandable, he is the one of the poster children of YouTube. He's like at what 34 million, I think, 34 million subs. He's one of the big boys, so it's kind of understandable that he'd be dragged into it at some point. But it's just like he's not even doing anything. It's just he happens to be the perfect pinpoint for these sorts of things here. And Corey also brings up that YouTube might possibly be racist, and as he says in his video, he can't 100% prove that they're racist. There might be somebody on the approval team that could be a racist. That's obviously. I commented on this video saying that I wouldn't put it past YouTube that if they had some sort of racist connotations going on right now. Because in all honesty, black creators seem to get, you know, tossed aside here, and I don't want to get too ultimately preachy here because I hate being like that. But there are some patterns to notice. Yeah. And Corey does have some pretty damning evidence in his videos and such. For example, he talks about his breaks that he takes. Because if any of you watch Corey Kenshin, you know he takes a lot of long breaks, like mental health breaks and such. Or such like that. He just doesn't feel rejuvenated enough. Um, he talks about his little hiatuses and such. And the day he comes back, the days he does come back, he's like on trending for a while, and then for some reason he gets some sort of problem with one of his past videos when he was on his hiatus. And it's basically YouTube being like, no, Corey, you see this? This is bad. And he's just like, it wasn't bad the 9 months I was gone. Like, that is a bit of an odd occurrence there, how they would just randomly give him like a community guideline strike on one of his past videos as soon as he starts getting traction when he comes back. Because people go crazy when Corey comes back, and they go crazier whenever he leaves. So, whenever he comes back, people were ecstatic about it, and then here comes YouTube being like, "Oh, we gotta stop this guy before he gets done." There's like, it's really odd to explain why that happens, and I don't think anybody properly can. Yeah, pretty wacky stuff. But it does bring into question. Well, I guess it really shouldn't, but I feel it does bring into question, like, how much does YouTube actually care about their creators? Because they still haven't addressed this stuff. It's been going on for like over a week now, and they still haven't brought this up. Right, I think it's been exactly a week, not over a week. When did Corey put out his video here? Let me just check right quick. Let me just double check. 6 days ago. Yeah. So, almost a week. But yeah, this shit's been going on for almost a week now, and YouTube has still not addressed this kind of stuff here. And I get it, they're a big corporation, they feel like they don't have to address these things, but they honestly do. There's been a lot of other people talking about this stuff. Even Jacksepticeye commented on this stuff because he is good friends with Corey Kenshin. They've been around for quite a while, and and there's been a lot of other YouTubers coming to Corey's attention. You know, they've been rounded up around it and shit. I'm sorry, I'm not good at speaking alone. Although I do stream my own channel, I'm not good at speaking on my own. But yeah, but yeah, there's been a lot of other YouTubers who have been talking about this subject, and it's good to bring it to their attention and try to get them to, own up to something. Because the biggest problem with YouTube is a lack of transparency. That much is apparent. It's been apparent since 2018, where they've just refused to tell anybody anything about what the fuck's going on. Like, why certain videos get taken down, or why this thing has a copyright strike but this one doesn't, and or why this video pixel looks different than this one, but this one looks exactly the same. Just to bring different examples into there. There does need to be a level of transparency on YouTube, and sadly, it's just not there. And it should be, because all creators on this platform, black, white, Latino, Asian, straight, gay, doesn't fucking matter. Everybody needs to be treated equally on this platform. There should be no special treatment because of the color of your skin, or your nationality, or your sexual preferences, like, there should be no special treatment for anybody. There should be equal treatment, equal rewards, equal punishment for everybody on this platform here, because, if it's okay for one person to do it, why is it suddenly not okay for another person to do it just because they're a different race? And again, there's no proper way to prove that, but Corey does seem to have a very charged mindset in that. And he says himself that he doesn't want to pull that kind of narrative, like, just an angry black man just showing up there. He says this word for word in his videos. It's like, he doesn't want to come off as like the angry black man complaining about ain't getting no pension or whatever. It's like, the whole argument's there. But it's kind of hard not to see it that way when you take into account the evidence he provides. Like I said before, the mortuary assistant, where Markiplier had the exact same content that he had, like the same scene in the game that Corey had, and yet he didn't get age restricted. He eventually did. And funny thing too, Markiplier actually kind of responded to it. He didn't make a vlog, but he made a video called Try Not to Get Age Restricted Challenge, where he played a game called Orc Massage, and he had it like heavily censored and shit, which was kind of proving Corey's point as well. in a way. People were pointing out in the comments, like, this is proving Corey's point of, like, him not getting age restricted, but yet Corey's still getting it. It's really weird to talk about this kind of stuff because that's the thing. Nobody knows anything about the fucking YouTube team because they don't tell us anything. They give us guidelines and such. They lay out guidelines in the website and such, but that's pretty much all we've got. like going back to Chad and Nikki's situation. They've gotten, like, what, 3 community guidelines strikes? You think YouTube will actually change anything as a result of this uproar? I can only hope so. We can only hope that YouTube will actually listen this time and, actually take into account all the shit going on. But the last few times YouTube's had an uproar, they've just sort of been quiet. And they also got rid of the dislike buttons, so you can kind of tell where they're at mentally. Or even then, you still can't. This has been a very confusing platform to work on so far, and this is exactly why. Because we have nothing to go off. We have no basis to build off of. We just have these people who are behind, like, a corporation, and they just have the website there. It's like, yeah, fuck it, fend for yourselves. They're not going to tell you how to do things, but just figure it out, dick. Just okay, thanks. Just don't bother telling us about anything. I don't know. I do hope that YouTube sees this happening here because I think Corey's video on this whole thing did get on trending for a bit.